host, Adam Hayes, with my co-host, Bob Payton.
Thanks, sir.
How are you?
I'm great.
Good. Across from the table from us is Mark McFatridge with Quade. Welcome.
Welcome.
Hey, thanks, guys. I'm excited to be here.
So what is Quade?
What is Quade? Quade's an executive peer group for business owners and CEOs. So it's almost a support group for CEOs because, it's kind of the old adage of it's lonely at the top and only CEOs know what another CEO is going through. And so we bring them together and let them spill it all out.
Right. So tell us how Quade is different from maybe some other options that are out there. I won't name any by name.
No, that's okay. I think for me, one of the things that was really important when I was putting Quade together, and we can talk about my story that led up to it at some point, but I wanted to differentiate myself. And one of the ways that I did it is I call them circle directors. So Quade is full of circles. So our circles are 8 to 10 CEOs and business owners. They're led by a circle director. And one of the things that was really important to me was I wanted our circle director to have sat in the seat of our allies, our members. Gotcha. And so every Quade circle director has been a CEO of a significant company. That's a pretty big differentiator because that's not a requirement for some other folks. Sure. I would say we also focus on diversity of membership. So we don't have revenue minimums, for example, and we could have somebody who is a solopreneur that does $250,000 a year with somebody that's got 200 FTE and does $65 million in a year in the same circle. And that diversity, not only demographic, but industry size, revenue size, history in the tenure in the seat, really makes for unique conversations and draws really great stuff out of each other. Yeah. So that's another thing. Carrying on the diversity side, we happen to be 50% men and 50% women in our membership, which was a big focus of mine. And nice. I would challenge almost any other CEO peer group with those numbers to match that. And we're pretty cost effective too. And not that I want to be a low cost provider, but I want to make sure that we're able to serve that small to mid market company, and the financial component is a big piece of it. So you opened the door for me, man.
Awesome.
I'm going to take
awesome. Yeah. So tell us, if you don't mind, if it's off topic and you don't want to advertise it to the world, that's fine. But tell us kind of, take us inside a circle.
Yeah. Yeah. Great question. So the agendas are pretty similar every month, and they meet monthly 10 times a year, half days. We open up and it's really about the whole person. So we'll open up and say, give us 3 words that describe where you are today, representing your mind, your body, and your soul. So where are you mentally, physically, and spiritually right now? And we record those. So over time, you can kind of see some ups and downs in people's lives. And then we also ask them to rate themselves on a scale of 0 to 100%. So where are you today? And they define that like that. I'm not putting out, check this for 10% or whatever. It's I feel 67.4% today, right? And again, we track that. And so you see these ups and downs over time, and it's pretty fascinating. And then we bring in an educational resource. And we've literally brought in everything from private equity groups to talk about what types of companies that they invest in, how to build a valuable company, Bob, which you know really well. Sure. We've brought in marketing firms that do a brand discovery session. We've done mental health in the workplace. Really, anything that our circle needs, we'll go find a local subject matter expert to come in. Nice. We then go around the table and people give updates. So what are 2 or 3 things that are going on in your world that are, keeping you up at night, that you're dreading, whatever. And then at least one person will do an exploration. And an exploration is really an opportunity or a challenge that person is facing. And it could be professional, it could be family, it could be personal, but they dictate what they want their allies to provide them. So They could say, hey, I just need you to listen to me whine for 20 minutes. Right.
And that's okay.
Yeah. And that's okay. And it could be, hey, I'd like some feedback from your experiences. I'd like some connections, whatever. And we've had topics like, I just got an unsolicited offer to buy my company and I need to help evaluate that. It could be we're growing really quickly and the person that I thought was a CFO is really a controller. Yep. And how do we navigate that? A good person, but how do we navigate? We've had we just discovered my daughter's an alcoholic and I don't know how to handle that. And so it really is that whole person, and it provides that peer group, that almost personal board of directors that a CEO or business owner doesn't have, right? And so that's that. And then we end every session with some accountability. So what's one thing you're going to accomplish between now and when we meet again? And then when they do their update, they lead off with that. And, if they didn't do it, their peers are going to say, hey, what the hell was it? Yeah. You said this was really important, but you didn't do it. So what the hell? And
let's talk
again,
about that, right?
Yeah. So let's dive into it. It's either not important or,
you're avoiding it.
Or you're avoiding it. Right.
And why are you avoiding it? And how do we address that?
That's exactly right. So you guys know, running your own businesses, you don't have somebody that's holding you accountable, right? You can go, I'll get to that later. Here it's not.
Right.
Yeah. I love the fact that you actually address the whole, right? Because, some people focus on pure business things, and that's fine by itself.
Mm-hmm.
However, owning a business, you get it all, right? Family, spouses, partners, kids. It all goes together. It really does. So I really love hearing you do that.
Yeah, thanks.
So is the format a half day or is it a full day, or how's that work?
Yeah, half days.
Okay.
Yep. And we rotate around to each ally's office space. Yeah. And so they get to show off kind of their culture that they talk about, and they're building and all that kind of stuff. So it's really cool.
That's awesome. How long have you been doing this?
So I launched Quade in October of 2021. So coming up on my third year anniversary.
Post-COVID.
So, yeah.
And what were you doing before that?
So so my whole career really was around banking. I'm a Butler University undergrad. I was an accounting major. I went to public accounting right out of school because that's what I was supposed to do, and I hated it. And I knew I was going to hate it, but
it sounds familiar, Adam.
Yeah. so I lasted a year in public accounting and then got into banking, and so banking became my career. I had just an amazing opportunities. And got to lead large divisions of super regional banks. I got to run as a CEO, small privately held banks. I got to run a publicly traded $2 billion organization. But I retired from banking in January of 17. And in either later that year or early 18, I got a call from a mentor of mine at Butler, Dick Fetter. And Dick called me and goes, hey, what are you doing now? And I told him, and he told me I wasn't doing enough. I needed to get my ass back to Indianapolis and help out Butler. And so I did. And the university had a kind of a pseudo consulting firm within the school of business.
Sure.
And it was kind of broken. And so Dick asked me to come back and help fix it. And I did that. And the whole time we're working with these amazing privately held companies. And I just kept coming back to the impact that me being in my own CEO peer group, which I'm still in, by the way, 17 years later, the impact it had on my life. And I see these folks and they needed it. And that's really what launched Quade.
Right. So talk to us about the group that you're in and when you started in that and kind of your journey there.
Yeah. So in 2006, my family and I were relocated from Indianapolis, the only home that we've ever known, to Springfield, Missouri, with Regions Bank. And I inherited the worst performing banking region in the entire company. No lie, if you could measure it, we were last. Yeah. And so we moved to this great city, but we didn't know anybody. I didn't know anybody on my management team. I didn't know anybody in the marketplace. I'm trying to turn around this underperforming banking group and help acclimate my family into this new place. And externally, things were going great. We were turning the bank around. Kids were doing great. Wife was doing great. But internally, I was killing myself because I had nobody to talk to. Mm-hmm. And there happened to be a local YPO chapter in Springfield, Missouri, in Southwest Missouri. So YPO is Young Presidents Organization. And I got exposed to it, and they invited me to join, and it was super impactful. So I joined my first YPO forum in 2007. Again, surrounded myself with 9 other CEOs and could talk about literally anything, and it changed my life. And so fast forward, I'm still in YPO. I'm still in a YPO forum. My son helped launch a YPO Next Generation chapter in St. Paul, Minnesota.
A little younger genre, maybe?
Yeah. That's exactly right. And my daughter helped launch a YNG chapter, Young Next Generation chapter here in Indianapolis. My wife has been in a spouses forum. Like, YPO has been pretty heavy involved in our lives, and it's so powerful.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so is your group virtual now, since you're no longer in Springfield, or how does that work?
Yeah. So when we moved, I moved from the Ozarks chapter to the Indiana chapter. So now I've got a local YPO forum here.
Was Jason Bateman in your group?
He's not. He's not. Yeah.
So how many total Quade circles do you have?
Yeah, we've got, we're getting ready to launch our 6th.
Nice.
5 here in Indianapolis, 1 virtual. And then I'm now recruiting in Tampa.
Okay.
Los Angeles. I just signed a circle director in New York City. So we'll begin recruiting for him. And then I hope to add Chicago for Adam in the first quarter, along with Denver. So, and Minneapolis, St. Paul. So yeah, that's where we're heading.
Okay. Got to ask.
Yeah.
There's a lot of expansion really quick.
Yeah.
Intentional or just driven by what you see in the market?
Well, so a couple things. The funny thing, Bob, is that when I started Quade, I was doing it as a lifestyle business. I literally was going to have 2 circles, and that was going to keep me busy and out of my wife's hair, and all of that stuff. And we kept getting referrals, and from people who were having a great experience and that we were having an impact on their lives. And all of a sudden, at the end of last year, I had 5 circles that I was running myself. And I'm like, okay, I'm working harder than I wanted to, but we're having this amazing impact on people. So, and there's a business here. And so the expansion is coming from what I do is I identify a good circle director, so a former CEO. And if they happen to be in Tampa, great. If they happen to be in Atlanta, great. If they happen to be in, Rochester, New York, great. But we're going to build it around them. So we recruit a circle director, and then Quade does all the recruiting. We bring on our allies, and then we build it out from there. So great question. Yes, it's a lot of expansion early, but the foundation is all the same. And so, because I'm old and I've been through a lot of this, and, I've been a banker, and I've worked and had these educational experiences. I think that we've put the foundational structure in place that we can do that.
Got a good formula.
Yeah.
A good process.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Love to hear it.
Yeah.
Cool. So you're probably developing a formalized process to onboard a new director and get them engaged with your tools and your unique approach.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've actually partnered with another organization, and we use their training module. So it's an online 12 course curriculum. Mm-hmm. It takes about 10 hours to go through. While they're doing that, then we're identifying prospective allies in their kind of geographic region.
Makes sense.
And so we start to do that. We're capitalizing on their centers of influence, who they know, and reaching out to them, because those will be educational resources for us down the line. And so it all ties together kind of neatly.
Yeah.
So it's like we had a plan.
Right. Yeah. That's a good thing.
Right. Okay. So I'll jump ahead then. That's a lot of expansion, and I'll say it all goes well, which I suspect it will. What are you going to do then?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think in my mind, so I've got it written down. I want to have 100 allies by the end of this year. Okay. So we're at 60. So that would be 4 more circles by the end of this year. I want to go to 250 by the end of next year, and I want to go to 1,000 by the end of 2026. So those are my goals. When I get to 1,000, then it becomes really a self-reflection for me of, okay, what role do I want to play? And I don't know the answer to that yet.
Sure.
I think until we get there, am I still having fun? Can I still have an impact on people? Maybe I'm not capable of running an organization of that size, and we go find somebody else who can.
Sure.
Or maybe somebody comes in and goes, hey, you know what? You've done a great job of getting it to this point. Let us take it from here. And let's see if they can carry on kind of my vision and the mission of what we're doing. And I'm happy to do that, but it's got to be the right place and time and all that good stuff. So,
gotcha.
Yeah, who knows?
Love it.
Yeah. So over the next 6 months, what are a few things that you're excited about and a few things that you're nervous about?
Yeah, good question.
It doesn't have to be business; can be anything.
Yeah. Well, so that's really cool. Thank you for that prompt. We've got a granddaughter who will be 1 on October 19th. So pumped for that.
Yeah.
Like that's like, you don't know what that's like, right? To have a grandchild, and until it happens,
I'm told it's great.
It is amazing. It is amazing. Like we have.
Are they in Minnesota?
They're in Minnesota,
Okay.
so we don't get to see her all the time, and we FaceTime every week. But we were just up there a couple of weeks ago. We're going to go up for her birthday and all that kind of stuff. So we are super pumped. It's like, now she's almost 11 months old, and she's got this personality, and man, it is cool. So yeah, super pumped about that.
I think I hear a group in Minnesota opening up. It's
yes. I need one more excuse to get to Minneapolis. So that's certainly one thing that's coming down. We're huge Colts fans, so I love the opportunity. Right, it's still early in the year, so we're still optimistic that everything's there.
We haven't ruined it yet.
That's right. My wife and I are both Butler University graduates, so Butler basketball will kick off in early November, and that's always fun, and going to Hinkle and all that kind of stuff. Business wise, again, we just keep having this amazing impact on people, and I love just tapping in and getting to because I interview all of our allies that come in. Sure. I get to interview them and get to know them. I'm like, yeah, this is cool. Like I don't have many rules on who comes in, but I do have a no asshole rule. Like,
yeah,
right. So like I just I'm at that stage of my career and life that I don't want to hang out with people I don't want to hang out with.
Exactly.
Right. And so that's been a really thing. I just put a stake in the ground and said, look, I'd love to take your $7,500, but you just don't fit on who we are.
Yeah.
So yeah, just that growth and continue to meet people, right? It's really cool to hear these stories. We started a podcast that our allies, and I didn't want to do a podcast because you guys do such a great job, and I could never tap into your market. So, but when somebody came to me and said, "Hey, what if you highlighted your allies and their story, because every story to a CEO role is unique and different."
Absolutely.
And it's just been awesome. And I've had a blast doing it. I think we're 7 or 8 episodes deep now, and it's really cool. So that's been a blast.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I'll circle back to the second part of that question. So anything that you're nervous about personally or professionally over the next 6 months? Could be economy. I'm gonna stop putting words in your mouth. So just I'll leave the question out there.
The economy is what it is, right? I think one of the cool things that happens in this industry of being around CEOs that are willing to invest in themselves for these peer groups is it doesn't matter what the economy does to them, right? Because they're making the right decisions. They're surrounding themselves with people. So, maybe to get them to write that first check might be a little bit, but once they're in it, they've invested in themselves. They're doing all the right things that maybe there's a little bit of a hiccup, but it's not going to be detrimental to them. They're doing all the right things to invest. So I'm not fearful of the economy. I don't have a lot. I'm not very bright, Adam, so I don't have a lot of fears, right? It's just like, I don't know, we'll figure it out, right? I
just selective ignorance is fine.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, that's exactly right. So no, man, I'm a forward-looking guy, and it's like, okay, we're in this shithole. Let's figure out how to get out of it and where we're trying to go. And we don't worry necessarily about how we got there. It's just let's go forward. So
yeah, and that's what I love about the group environment, because I am part of one as well, that doesn't matter, good or bad, right? You can always spill your guts, and some people start, that feels very touchy-feely, and some of it is, but it's actually what I call hardcore. It's real stuff. They own a business, they got 50 employees, something hit the fan, and if you're by yourself, that can be an extremely lonely place, right? So I love the fact that and you got to get them over their ego a little bit, right?
For sure.
And once you get them over that ego and they're in that environment, oh man, it's life-changing.
It's also, being a business owner for 23, 24 years now, it's also hard to self-diagnose.
Yes.
Right.
For sure.
Like I have an idea of maybe what's wrong, or what I need to change, but also having the layer of questioning from a group of professionals. It's like, okay, what's beneath that? What's beneath that? Now we're at the thing.
Why?
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Why?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't really talk about it, but one of the cool things is, in these circles, you get to know each other very intimately.
Yeah.
But you also have this level of independence, right? Like most of our circles don't hang out together outside of Quade. So they're not worried about screwing up dinner on Friday night with the couples, right? So they can say, that's the stupidest idea I've ever heard, right?
Yeah.
And it's not going to jeopardize Friday night with
great point
with the spouses. And so it's such a unique place to have this intimacy of knowing literally everything about you, but to be independent enough to go, I don't know if that's how I
may not run into him at the ball game, right?
Yeah, right. So I don't talk about that enough, but that is a unique and incredible benefit that I think gets overlooked sometimes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So what keeps you awake at night?
Yeah. Just so I want to continue to provide value and have an impact on people. And how do we do that? How do we build this community bigger where people can tap into, others from across the United States and get diverse opinions and diverse insights. And, we've done a handful of things. We have an annual get together. I call it an unconference because I hate conferences. In July, where we bring everybody together, and there's some education, but it's really about networking and getting to know allies from across the United States. This year we had 70 people and representing 8 states, so that was huge for me. I was really proud of that. We also have a communication platform, so it's run on circle.so, and each circle has their own space where they can confidentially share. Yeah, sure. But if they have a question, I'm considering a new software system. Has anybody used it? They can get feedback from across the United States from our allies. Or I've just launched a podcast, or I've just written a book, or whatever. Nice. They can get that feedback, and so. What keeps me up is, how do I make this valuable, and how do I keep people engaged and build this community that can be so powerful for so many. My head spins all the time. I'm an idea guy, right? In EOS language, I'm the visionary. And so I'm blessed. I've got a great chief of staff in Tiffany O'Connell, who is the ultimate integrator. She's like, dude, hang on. We've got like 37 ideas. And can we do this, first? Right. And so she's amazing to keep me grounded and all that kind of stuff. So I think ideas keep me up at night.
Yeah.
Love it. What do you do for fun?
Man, so huge sports fan. Colts, Bulldogs, everything Indianapolis. Love that. That's a big deal. Family. Deb and I travel quite a bit. We're empty nesters, which has been awesome. So we took a trip to France this past year and chased wine all around the country, and we're looking at doing similar things going forward. So big travel folks, and nice. Now that we have a grandchild, that's what we do for fun.
So one child or 2 or 3 or what?
We have 2 kids. Our son Ryan is married to Sarah, and they live in Minneapolis, St. Paul, and have our granddaughter Sophie, and then our daughter Emily is here in Indianapolis for now. She's gonna bail on us and head to Buffalo, New York, I think, at some point here in the next few months.
Gotcha.
But yeah, they're all out on their own.
They get real snow up there.
Yeah, man. I tell you what, I detest snow, so I don't know what I did to my kids to make them hate me.
That north, right? They went north,
right? I don't know, but there's something wrong there.
Okay, you need to move to Miami at some point, right?
Right.
Draw them south.
Yeah. No, that's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Mark, where did you grow up?
I was born and raised in Logansport, Indiana.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so an hour and a half north of here.
The Logansport Berries.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Wonderful place to grow up. It was one of again, I'm graduated high school in 1986. So, that it was that amazing community that, you just rode your bicycle all over town, and you didn't have to worry about it. You showed up at dinner and then went back out and came home before the lights came on, the street lights came on.
Yeah.
And, was fortunate enough to play baseball and football for the Berries and just had a great childhood.
So how did the pathway to Butler open up for you? What did that look like?
Yeah, so I played baseball. I was a walk-on on the baseball team. Fortunately, I had an academic scholarship, so I didn't have to rely on my baseball skills. I will tell you that I mean, this is self-proclaimed, but I was the best bullpen catcher Butler has ever had.
took more catches than any other catcher in the.
Your mitt was well worn.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. I think it was really because I just wanted to be down in the bullpen away from the coach. So it's something along those lines.
Let everybody else get yelled at.
Right?
Did you get some PT during double headers?
No, man. I was like my freshman year. I was only on my freshman year. I was like one of 5 catchers, which seems like a really odd roster combination.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway, I had a blast, and Butler was an amazing school for me.
Oh, sure.
I mean, it's where I met my wife. We started dating second semester of our freshman year, and that was in 1987. Yeah. So blessed to have her hang out with me for this long.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So are you a baseball fan then, since you grew up playing baseball?
Yeah. Not as much. Like I grew up a Reds fan. So, a couple things. So I'm a contrarian. Right. So all my buddies were Cubs fans. So I became a Reds fan. So it's boring.
It makes it more interesting.
Right. Absolutely. So I grew up a Packers fan because all my friends were Bears fans.
Right.
So it's just way more interesting. But I love going to baseball games, love watching them live. I struggle to watch them. It also, the Reds suck, right? So they have been for a long time, right? So it's harder to keep track of. But I love Wrigley Field is one of my favorite places in the world.
Right.
It's just a classic ballpark, and being out in the bleachers like that's heaven to me.
Yes.
So I love being in person at baseball games. I struggle to watch it on TV.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
I grew up playing baseball too, and it's hard for me to watch a game on TV. I do enjoy the experience of being at a stadium and taking the whole experience in. It's hard to take in the whole experience on the TV.
For sure.
And
for sure.
Most of my baseball experience in the stands at Wrigley is usually at end of season, and it's winter. Right? I mean, literally, we froze the family. We
then
made
you're
it to
questioning your decision at that point.
Yeah, we made it to 7th inning, and that was like, we're done. Right?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
It's a good time though.
Yeah, no doubt.
So how do people get in touch with you?
Yeah, so I'm on LinkedIn, pretty active poster on LinkedIn. I don't know. So some people would say I probably post too much personal stuff on LinkedIn, but I love sharing that. Being authentic and being really genuine is really important to me. And so the stuff you see on my page are all from me and my experiences and that type of stuff. So LinkedIn, you can track us down. Our website is quadecircle.com. It's really well done. I think it shows the true culture of who Quade is. There's a really cool brand video that has a couple of our allies that have been with us from the beginning that really capture the culture of who Quade is. So those would be the easiest ways for sure.
Perfect.
Awesome. Sounds great.
Yeah.
Appreciate having you on.
Yeah,
this is a blast.
As you continue to grow, I'd like to have you back on.
Yeah.
I'm in. Yeah, tell me when.
Awesome.
When you launch Minneapolis, we'll come up and see you.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
We'll go to US Bank Stadium and we'll catch a game.
We'll take this thing on the road.
Yeah.
There we go.
Awesome.
Awesome. I
Thanks
appreciate
again.
it, Mark.
Very cool.
All right.